Is your gut telling you something is wrong, but her tongue is telling you that you're losing your mind? Behavioral observations suggest that when a woman has been leading a double life for over a year, she doesn't just lie, she rewrites your reality. She doesn't just hide the truth, she makes the truth look like a mental illness. Imagine standing in the rain and having someone look you in the eye and tell you the sun is shining until you actually start to doubt your own skin. That is gaslighting. If you feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own home while she's out giving her best years to another man, you are being psychologically dismantled. Stay until the very end of this video because I'm going to reveal the 4 specific behavioral patterns she uses to hide a long-term affair. If you miss even one of these signs, you might spend the next 5 years of your life fighting a ghost while she laughs behind your back. Let's reclaim your sanity. They say real men are gone. They say we're too weak, too distracted, and easy to control. We've lost our ways, we have no focus and no backbone. I say they're wrong. I built this channel to prove that strong men still exist. Every man who subscribes is a proof. If you value your pride and you control your life, don't leave. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment so I know you're with us. The world wants you weak. I want you strong. Let's go. Gaslighting is not just a lie, it is an assault on your nervous system. When a woman has been cheating for a year, she has had 365 days to practice her cover story. She has had hundreds of hours to anticipate your questions and build a mental fortress of deception. Behavioral patterns show that her primary goal isn't just to keep the affair secret, it is to make you so confused that you stop asking questions altogether. You become a victim of cognitive dissonance, where your heart wants to believe her, but your brain knows she's lying. The first sign is the projective accusation. Behavioral observations suggest that a woman hiding a long-term betrayal will often start accusing you of the very things she is doing. If she's staying late at work, she might suddenly start questioning who you're texting at 7 p.m. She'll ask you, "Are you seeing someone else?" or "Why are you being so distant?" This is a psychological diversion tactic. By putting you on the defensive, she forces you to spend all your energy proving your own loyalty instead of investigating hers. You become a victim of defensive exhaustion. Let me tell you about Julian. Julian was a dedicated husband, a man who worked 2 jobs to make sure his wife, Maya, had everything she wanted. Julian started noticing that Maya was taking girls' trips every other month. When he asked for details, Maya didn't just get angry, she attacked his character. She told him, "You're only asking because you're insecure. You probably wish you were out cheating too." Julian felt so guilty for hurting her feelings that he apologized. He bought her flowers to make up for his paranoia. Julian is the loser in our story because he accepted a false narrative. For an entire year, Maya used Julian's kindness as a shield. Every time Julian saw a strange name on her phone or noticed she smelled like a different cologne, Maya would flip the script. She told him he was controlling and unstable. Julian actually went to a therapist to talk about his jealousy issues while Maya was literally meeting her lover in the hotel room Julian paid for. Julian lost a year of his life and thousands of dollars because he prioritized Maya's feelings over his own facts. He became a victim of weaponized empathy. The second sign is the memory eraser. This is one of the most brutal forms of gaslighting. Behavioral patterns show that when you confront a long-term cheater with a specific fact, like a receipt you found or a time she wasn't where she said she'd be, she will simply say, "That never happened." She will look you in the eye with total calm and tell you that you're remembering it wrong. She might even say, "We already talked about this, don't you remember? You said it was fine." By attacking your memory, she attacks your foundation. If you can't trust your own memory, you have to trust hers. And that is exactly what she wants. You are the victim of perceptual sabotage. When a woman is hiding a year of infidelity, she has to become a script writer. She creates a world where you are the problem and she is the long-suffering saint. Behavioral observations suggest that she will use the burden of proof trap. She will tell you, "If you don't have a photo of me doing it, then you're just making things up." She knows that most men don't want to be private investigators in their own homes. She uses your desire to be a good man against you. She knows you want to be trusting, so she uses that trust as a blindfold. You are the victim of your own moral integrity. The third sign is the shifting baseline. Have you noticed that the rules in your relationship only apply to you? Behavioral patterns show that a woman hiding a year-long affair will slowly change the normal behavior in the house. She might stop being affectionate, and when you ask why, she says, "We've just been together a long time, this is how it is." Or she might start guarding her phone with her life, and if you mention it, she says, "I just value my privacy, why are you being so suffocating?" She is slowly training you to accept a lower standard of intimacy and a higher level of secrecy. She is moving the goalposts of the relationship while you're still trying to play the game. You are the victim of incremental normalization. Think about the real estate in your mind. Right now, she is occupying 90% of your thoughts because you're trying to solve a puzzle that she is actively hiding the pieces to. Behavioral observations suggest that this creates a state of chronic hyperarousal. Your body is in fight or flight mode every time she walks into the room. You can't sleep, you can't focus at work, and you're losing weight. Meanwhile, she is calm, collected, and seemingly happy. This contrast is designed to make you look like the crazy one to your friends and family. She is building a safety net of witnesses who will see your breakdown and think, "No wonder she cheated, look at how unstable he is." You must realize that gaslighting is a war of attrition. She isn't trying to win one argument, she's trying to wear you down over 365 days until you are too tired to care anymore. Behavioral patterns show that when a man is gaslit for a year, his testosterone levels actually drop. His cortisol levels stay high, leading to brain fog and indecision. This is the goal. A man who cannot think clearly cannot lead. A man who cannot lead cannot hold her accountable. You are being castrated by conversation. We are going to look at how a sovereign man breaks this cycle. He doesn't argue. He doesn't try to prove her wrong. He understands that you cannot use logic to defeat a person who is intentionally using anti-logic. We are going to look at Elias, a man who realized the game was rigged and decided to flip the table. Elias understood that the only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing. You have to understand that her anger is often just a smokescreen. Behavioral observations suggest that when you get close to the truth, she will blow up. She will cry, she will scream, or she will threaten to leave. This is a tactical tantrum. It is designed to make the cost of asking questions too high for you to pay. Most men hate conflict, so they back off. They think it's not worth the fight. But every time you back off, you give her another month of freedom to continue her betrayal. You are trading your peace for her license to cheat. This is the most brutal truth of a year-long deception. She has already moved on emotionally. She is using your home as a base of operations while she builds a new life elsewhere. Behavioral patterns show that she is monkey branching, holding on to you until she is 100% sure the other man is a safe bet. She is using your money, your protection, and your social status to fund her interview process with your replacement. You aren't her husband anymore. You are her unwitting sponsor. This channel is only for a certain type of man. It's for the man who says no to distractions and no to being told what to do. If you're soft, this place isn't for you. But if you're ready to work and find your worth, you belong here. Most men won't finish this video. They'll go back to their old, lazy lives. If you're the man who stays, subscribe and comment right now. Show me you're ready to be different. The fourth and most final sign of long-term gaslighting is the reality substitution. Behavioral observations suggest that after a year of cheating, a woman will stop just lying about the affair and start lying about the history of your relationship. She will start saying things like, "We were never actually happy," or "You've always been mean to me," or "I only stayed for the kids." This is a psychological attempt to pre-validate her betrayal. If she can convince herself and you that the relationship was always dead, then her cheating isn't a crime, it's a rescue mission. She is rewriting the past to justify her present. Let's talk about Elias. Elias was a man of logic. He was an engineer who dealt with facts and data. When his wife Sarah started coming home with gifts from clients and staying at seminars that didn't exist, Elias didn't argue. He didn't yell. When Sarah told him he was hallucinating and suffocating her, Elias didn't go to therapy to fix his insecurity. Instead, Elias utilized the silent audit. Elias is the winner in our story because he stopped listening to her words and started watching her patterns. He realized that every time he asked a question, Sarah followed a 3-step script. 1. Attack his character. 2. Play the victim. 3. Change the subject. Elias stopped asking. He became the ghost. For 3 months, he acted like everything was fine. He was polite, he was helpful, but he was emotionally detached. While Sarah thought she had successfully gaslit him into silence, Elias was busy. He installed a GPS on the car he paid for. He hired a private investigator. He moved his personal assets into a separate account. When the 90 days were up, Elias didn't confront her for an apology. He didn't ask why. He simply walked into the living room, placed a thick folder of photos on the coffee table, and handed her a pre-filled divorce settlement. When Sarah started her "You're crazy" script, Elias just pointed at the photos. He didn't say a word. He let the reality do the talking. Because Elias had spent those months building his fortress, he was able to walk away with his dignity, his house, and his sanity. Elias won because he understood that the truth doesn't need your voice, it only needs your evidence. He moved from being the victim to being the judge of his own life. Why is the reality substitution so effective? Because it targets a man's legacy. You want to believe that the last 5 or 10 years of your life meant something. When she tells you it was all a lie, it hurts worse than the cheating itself. Behavioral patterns show that men will often stay in a toxic, gaslighting environment just to save the memory of what the relationship used to be. But you cannot save a house that is currently on fire. You have to save yourself. You are the victim of nostalgia poisoning, no more. The sovereign man understands the rule of non-reaction. When she tries to gaslight you, she is fishing for an emotional response. If you get angry, she says, "See, you're aggressive." If you cry, she says, "See, you're weak." But if you remain stone cold, she has nothing to work with. Behavioral observations suggest that the gray rock method, becoming as uninteresting and unresponsive as a gray rock, is the most effective way to break a gaslighter. You stop providing the supply of your attention. You stop being the audience for her performance. You must also understand the digital footprint reality. In today's world, a year of cheating leaves a massive trail. Behavioral patterns show that a woman will often hide her secret life in plain sight. She'll have a second Instagram account, a work messaging app that she uses at midnight, or a folder on her phone that is password protected. When she gaslights you about these things, she is counting on your politeness. She is counting on you not wanting to snoop. But there is a difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy is what you do in the bathroom. Secrecy is what you do in another man's bed. You are the victim of artificial boundaries, no more. The winner utilizes the reconstruction of the kingdom. Once the fog of gaslighting is cleared, he realizes that the energy he spent trying to figure her out was actually his most valuable resource. He reinvests that energy into his own life. Behavioral observations show that a man who has been released from a gaslighting relationship often experiences a growth spurt in his career and health. The weight that was holding him back wasn't just his ex, it was the mental load of her lies. Once that weight is gone, he becomes unstoppable. You must realize that she relied on your kindness to shield her from the consequences. She thought your loyalty was a chain that kept you locked to the porch while she ran in the woods. The sovereign man breaks the chain, walks away, and leaves the porch empty. Show her that the consequence of her gaslighting is the total loss of your presence. Let her find out what the world is like without a strong man standing in front of her. You are no longer the victim. You are the commander of the new frontier. This brings us to the final, brutal truth. You cannot fix a woman who finds her value in the eyes of every man except her own. If she needs a secret life and a year of lies to feel alive, she is already dead inside. Don't let her rot infect your growth. Be like Elias. See the patterns, build your fortress, and walk into the sun without looking back. You are being recalibrated for a higher mission. I have a smart question for the brothers who have stayed until the very end. If you were a pilot and your co-pilot was secretly disabling the navigation system while telling you the plane was flying perfectly, would you keep arguing with them about the buttons, or would you take the controls and land the plane at the nearest airport to kick them out? Think about that. Your life is that plane. Your sanity is the navigation system. Don't let a faulty co-pilot crash your entire legacy into the ground. Drop a comment below and tell the brothers, what was the specific lie she told you that finally made the fog clear? And how did you find the strength to trust your eyes over her voice? Share your story of the awakening. Let the man who is currently trapped in the gaslight loop see that there is a reality waiting for him if he just has the courage to stop believing the lie. I appreciate you for sticking through to the end. It shows me you've got the focus most men lack. Remember, you aren't alone in this anymore. You've got a brotherhood here. If this message helped you, subscribe and join the family. Drop a comment below. I read them and I want to hear from you. You're doing the work and I see you. Stay strong and I'll see you in the next one.